Something significant is happening right now at Accra International Airport. Not in the planning stages. Not under discussion. Right now, in April 2026, construction equipment is moving. Workers are on site. And the Ghana Airports Company Limited is executing what could be the most consequential single infrastructure project at Ghana's main gateway in over a decade. This is the story of a new concourse, a new funding architecture, and a new ambition for what Ghana's busiest airport can become. Before we begin, kindly subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. To understand why this concourse matters so much, you have to understand what the airport has been dealing with. Accra International Airport currently operates 2 active passenger terminals. Terminal 2 handles domestic flights. Terminal 3, the large modern facility built at a cost of $274 million and opened in phases from 2018 onward, handles regional, international, and long-haul traffic. Terminal 3 was designed with a rated capacity of 5 million passengers per year, with an expansion potential of up to 6.5 million. But here is the reality on the ground. In 2025, the airport recorded 3.625 million passengers. That is up from 3.4 million the year before. Traffic is climbing, and at the rate it is growing, the runway toward capacity pressure is not theoretical. It is a countdown. And the pressure already shows. Ask anyone who has passed through Accra International Airport during peak travel periods. The congestion is visible. The queues are long. The bottlenecks at boarding gates are real. The car park at Terminal 3, which was built to hold only 513 vehicles, is routinely overwhelmed. Passengers transfer between domestic arrivals and international departures through external walkways, without seamless airside connectivity. For an airport competing with Lagos, Abidjan, and Lomé for West African hub status, that is a structural disadvantage. That is the gap this project is designed to close. Construction officially began in April 2026 on an ultra-modern passenger concourse that will physically connect Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 for the first time. That sentence alone changes the operational logic of the entire airport. Right now, a passenger arriving on a domestic flight at Terminal 2 and connecting to an international departure at Terminal 3 has to exit airside, navigate external spaces, and reprocess through security. It is inefficient, it is slow, and it creates exactly the kind of friction that pushes connecting passengers and airlines toward competing airports. The new concourse eliminates that entirely. Once complete, passengers will be able to move between the 2 terminals fully within the secured airside environment. No rescreening. No autoworks. No confusión. A single integrated passenger flow from domestic arrivals through to international departures, contained within a connected facility. Now let us talk about what this concourse will actually contain, because the specifications are serious. 5 new passenger boarding bridges. These are the jet bridges that connect directly from the terminal to the aircraft door. Each one eliminates the need for stairs and ground-level boarding, which reduces boarding time, improves accessibility, and protects passengers from the elements. Going from the existing 6 bridges at Terminal 3 to adding 5 more changes the peak hour capacity equation entirely. 5 passenger holding areas. These are the dedicated gate lounges where passengers wait before boarding. Expanding holding capacity reduces crowding on the main terminal floor, which is one of the most common complaints at African airports during busy periods. When there is nowhere to sit before your flight, the entire terminal atmosphere degrades. Bidirectional travelators. These are the motorized moving walkways you find in world-class airports from Dubai to Singapore to Amsterdam. They allow passengers to cover the physical distance between gates quickly and comfortably, without the fatigue of walking long corridors on a tight connection. At a facility linking 2 separate terminal buildings, travelators are not a luxury. They are an operational necessity. 5 new escalators and elevators. This is about universal access. A modern international airport cannot function with staircases as the primary means of vertical movement. Escalators and elevators serve elderly passengers, passengers with disabilities, families with strollers, and anyone managing heavy carry-on luggage. 5 new units across the concourse is the kind of detail that separates a facility that works for everyone from one that works only for the able-bodied. 1 VIP lounge. 4 business lounges. And 4 new retail and duty-free pods. These are the commercial components of the concourse, and they matter far more than they might initially seem. Airport commercial revenue, meaning lounge fees, duty-free sales, retail concessions, and food and beverage, is how modern airports fund their operations and generate profit beyond airline fees alone. Accra International Airport has lagged behind regional peers in this dimension. The new concourse adds commercial floor space at the exact point in the passenger journey where dwell time is highest, which is after security and before boarding. That is where passengers spend money. Getting that configuration right is the difference between an airport that breaks even and one that generates real revenue. According to reporting from Graphic Online and confirmed by the Government Communications Ministry, the entire concourse project is expected to take approximately 14 months to complete. That puts a delivery target somewhere around mid-2027 if construction began on schedule in April of this year. The concourse does not stand alone. It is part of a larger simultaneous transformation of Terminal 2 itself, and that remodeling is arguably just as important. The concourse and Terminal 2 remodeling are the centerpiece projects, but the full scope of the expansion being announced by JCL is even larger. A 7-story car park is scheduled to begin construction mid-year 2026. It will replace the existing 513-bay surface lot with a multi-level facility holding 2,000 parking bays. That is nearly a 4-fold increase in parking capacity. Anyone who has circled Accra International Airport on a busy Friday evening looking for a spot will understand what this means in practical terms. On April 1, 2026, the Airport Infrastructure Development Charge took effect. It is a passenger levy, tiered by destination. Flights within ECOWAS attract $15 per passenger. Other African destinations attract $30. Intercontinental travel attracts $100. Domestic passengers contribute 100 Ghana cedis per one-way ticket. Exemptions apply to infants, diplomats, and crew members on duty. Revenue from this charge flows into a dedicated fund and escrow account managed by the Ministry of Transport, ring-fenced strictly for airport infrastructure development. The levy is projected to generate approximately $800 million over the next decade. What makes Accra's position interesting is that it has already earned recognition as one of the best-run airports in Africa by volume. Airports Council International awarded it the Best Airport in Africa title, in the 2 to 5 million passenger category, for 3 consecutive years, 2019, 2020, and 2021. The infrastructure at that point matched the reputation. The challenge is maintaining that standard as passenger volumes grow past the levels at which those awards were won. The concourse is precisely the kind of project that preserves Accra's standing. Seamless terminal connectivity, more boarding bridges, better lounges, and a unified passenger experience are not just comfort improvements. They are the conditions under which major international airlines decide whether to add a route, increase frequency, or make Accra a hub connection point. Every upgrade to the hard infrastructure is an argument to an airline's network planning team. There is a tendency, when reading about African infrastructure projects, to hold judgment until the ribbon is cut. And that skepticism has been earned over decades of delayed timelines, stalled contracts, and projects that existed mostly in press releases. 14 months from now, if the construction timeline holds, passengers walking between Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 will do so through an enclosed, air-conditioned, escalator-served concourse with boarding bridges at every gate, duty-free shops on either side, and a business lounge to settle into before departure. That is not a futuristic vision. That is what is being built right now on the ground at Ghana's gateway to the world. Accra International Airport is not waiting, and neither is Ghana.